Yo, what is up everybody? Today we're going to be revealing the winners for the Defensive Muddies Awards from Month 15. Of course, last week we revealed the Offensive Awards and showed you guys the defensive nominees. Now it's time to reveal the winners, including Best Run Stuffer Award. Who is great at stopping the run? The big guys got a lot of love. Ndamukong Suh getting 17% of the votes. Vince Wilfork getting 19% of the votes. But the winner by far with 38% of the votes was J.J. Watt. Watt definitely earning that one. He's just an all-around beast. So he wins Best Run Stuffer. Biggest hitter was not too much of a runaway. It was quite tightly contested. A lot of people getting votes like Atwater and Lawrence Taylor getting 12%. Ray Lewis getting 15% of the votes. Night Train Lane coming in second with 24% of the votes. Of course, Night Train's got that rep of being a big hitter. But the winner was Ronnie Lott getting 28% of the votes. I don't know if that 4th of July car helped out his cause. Either way, Ronnie Lott obviously having a reputation as a big hitter, so he very rightfully earns that award for biggest hitter. Lockdown corner, a very interesting award to see who comes out on top. There's a lot of great cornerbacks like Charles Woodson who got 20% of the votes. Night Train Lane Charles Woodson got 12%. Night Train Lane got 20% of the votes. Primetime Deion Sanders got 20% of the votes. But the winner, Richard Sherman, with 24% of the votes. I guess people were definitely valuing height when it came to Sherman this year. Of course, Sherman had a bunch of 99 overall cards, so that helped out his cause. Now, Zone Specialist is another award that Richard Sherman could win. You know, you got the Legion of Boom well represented in this one. Devin McCourty at 10%. Earl Thomas getting 16% of the votes. Richard Sherman, 21% of the votes, but he did not win. Someone edged him out with 24% of the votes. It was Ed Reed winning Zone Specialist. I don't know if that's an upset. I mean, I'm not sure. I thought Ed Reed would win that award, but I mean, definitely Ed Reed, one of the best coverage guys all time. You know, getting picks all day. I think he leads the NFL all time in return yardage. So, you know, Ed Reed, everybody. Now on to Sack Artist. Once again, a lot of nominees for this one. There were 9 different people put up, including Khalil Mack, who got 7% of the votes. Julius Peppers and Lawrence Taylor getting 8% of the votes. But the winner, and probably the biggest runaway of any of the defensive awards, was J.J. Watt getting his second Muddies Award as the sack artist. Not only was the best run stuffer, he was also the best sack artist. And if I probably put him in Zone Specialist, he might have won that too for some reason. So, J.J. Watt, everybody. Now on to the best user defender. And there's a couple of people got some good chunk of votes, like Luke Kuechly getting 15% of the votes. I'm sure that Style Kuechly helped out. Eric Berry, who's had a few good cars this year, including his golden ticket, 16% of the votes to him. Julius Peppers, 6'7" height, can't teach that. That got him 24% of the votes. Probably the best usering linebacker, but the winner, Free Safety Calvin Johnson. Free Safety Calvin seems to dominate these awards. He gets 39% of the votes here, and that gives him Best User Defender of Month 15. I don't know what people are going to do if Free Safety Calvin doesn't come back next year. I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest. Now on to the Best Return Man. So this isn't really a defense award, but still a special teams award. And a pretty cool award to see who wins this one. Deshaun Jackson got 12% of the votes. Deion Sanders getting 13% of the votes. I thought he might get more. He finished third. Bo Jackson got 14% of the votes in second, but the winner in a runaway was Devin Hester. Of course, the all-time leader in the NFL for return touchdowns of any kind. Devin Hester. I believe he has 20 to his name, if not 19. Either way, 52% of the votes went to Devin Hester. Of course, he had that primetime card when he broke the record in I think October. And now finally, the final award for the 2015 Muddies, Best Golden Ticket. Of course, there's 19 different players to choose from, including, Patrick Peterson, who got 2 different ones. We only used him once, and he actually finished last in the voting, funny enough. So there's a lot of people that got, a certain amount of votes, like Deion Sanders, 6%. J.J. Watt got 6%. The regular players who were getting a lot of votes so far in the Muddies, Calvin Johnson with 9%. Third place was Odell Beckham Jr. Kind of surprised by that, 13% of votes to OBJ's Golden Ticket. Second place, Michael Vick. I believe he had 102 speed on that Golden Ticket. That got him 18% of the votes. But the winner, and the guy who just seems to be dominating, Calvin Johnson. And now I say Calvin Johnson, you said, didn't Calvin Johnson get 4th? There was a wide receiver Calvin that finished 4th. This is Free Safety Calvin. Of course, Free Safety Calvin wins again with 24% of the votes. So, Free Safety Calvin definitely, took home the most Muddies. You had the normal Calvin Johnson getting a few. Odell Beckham got some. J.J. Watt. So, definitely a cool little thing to do this year. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the Muddies. Might have to bring it back next year for the fun of it, too. too. But just something fun to do at the end of the year, you know. So leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more, and I will catch you guys next time for some Month 16.